Welcome to Seeing Art History. Annibale Carracci's The Resurrection, now in the collection of the Louvre Museum, is one of the most spectacular paintings of the Catholic Reformation. Created in the last decade of the 16th century, Carracci's altarpiece was designed to bolster the spiritual confidence of the faithful by depicting a miraculous motif with a dynamic visual method. This video explores how Carracci's Catholic Reformation aesthetic makes Christ's resurrection visibly present in the immediate experience of its presumed worshiper. As you look closely at this work, please subscribe to Seeing Art History. The purpose of this altarpiece is to seamlessly unite, for the spiritual benefit of the Catholic Reformation believer, the realms of the sacred and the temporal. Christ is the spiritual core of the motif. As the resurrected Savior ascends through the image, Christ's triumphantly raised hand presses against the literal arch of the painting, as if his elevation through the picture was also expanding the material dimensions of the canvas. Christ is not only escaping the tomb, he is also stretching the boundaries of visible reality. One of the pivotal details in this image is Christ's forward foot. By placing this foot near the center of his composition, Carracci encourages the viewer to consider how it visually suggests Christ's relationship to us. While Christ is suspended in space, he also appears to be standing on the landscape behind him. Christ is not actually standing on the hill, but he is visually connected to it. From one angle, Christ seems to be walking towards us across this landscape. His forward knee pierces the picture plane, that imaginary divide between the viewer and the motif. Christ's position in space is deliberately ambiguous. When he is standing on the rock, Christ is made present in the modern world. And yet he is also ascending into the glory of eternity. Carracci's sacred art reconciles the natural and the supernatural. In an altarpiece that depicts how the grave has failed to constrain Christ, Carracci visualizes the sacred power of the resurrection to overcome any barrier, even the obstacle of the viewer's doubt. Christ's triumph over death generates a supernatural energy that sends observable tremors throughout the image. As a visualization of the spiritual force of Christ's resurrection, Carracci's composition expands in every direction. There is not a single figure or form in this entire painting that is not being discernibly transformed by this miracle. Carracci's dramatic altarpiece visualizes a universe in a state of triumphant spiritual metamorphosis. Christ's resurrection has set off a spiritual eruption that presses the motif against the literal boundaries of the canvas. However, this surging composition is also harmoniously balanced. Christ's resurrection is both the end of death and the creation of a new glorious order. The purpose of this work of Catholic Reformation art is to cultivate within the soul of the presumed worshiper a spiritual confidence in the reality and authority of Christ's resurrection. The way in which Carracci's motif seems to burst out from the center and beyond the painting's limits makes the spiritual power of this miracle both visible and believable. Annibale Carracci's painting demonstrates how he became one of the pioneering artists of the Catholic Reformation. The function of the visual arts in the Catholic Reformation was to make the sacred real and comprehensible for the presumed believer. And through Carracci's altarpiece, Christ's miraculous victory over death is made both spiritually and visibly present. This work not only depicts the resurrection of Christ, it is a triumph of sacred art